All right. So to recap, for the first time last week, we started off essentially by confronting Alcaranthe the Great. There was negotiations had in regards to why you should be able to keep some of the items that you had just recently proclaimed in your hunt for these items that she requested: the eye, the touch, and the soul. The negotiations started off very well. She was understanding. And then it turned a little different as time went on, and looking at some of the belongings behooved upon all of you guys versus weighing it upon, is it worth more than your life? It started to sway in the other direction. After finding out that you knew where the eye was, she sniffed it out on Vitra. She said, I will allow you to leave, giving me what you've already offered. I will allow you to leave and bring me the eye of Orion with the collateral of Vitra. So Vitra climbed on her spiked back and rode back to the mountain. This did not stop you guys, though. You kept going. You went all the way to Xeris's home village. Were able to successfully recruit, because of their goddamn ignorance, successfully recruit. Low-key, those were some of the worst roles I've ever done as a DM during NPCs conversation. They failed everything. I don't think I rolled. I don't think I rolled over a 5 on the die for that whole conversation. And she did not want to go either, so it was very good.
Fucking magic, flying ship.
Yeah. They're like, oh, okay, cool. So this big ass ship, yeah, we'll hop on. Well, it made that interaction go quickly, so you were able to start making your way towards the Dredgeless Isles, where you did find a new friend, sort of, by reversing the curse of the true polymorph that was on Princess Cassandra Alteria, the High Princess and eldest daughter of the High Lord of Alteria in Fimphion. Some of you guys haven't met or had any meetings with, but still a High Lord. A lot of you have heard of him. She promised to give you and Ombre aid back at Alteria after you've made this rescue mission. That was how she was able to help. So you made your way to the Dredgeless Isles upon a absolutely incredible divine intervention success. You guys were able to easily make your descent down to the extremely well fortified by a goddamn volcano that was nullified by the Water Lord Olmo. You were able to make your descent, land right on top of the building with no issue. Silex uses his hands to melt through the top of this ice house, not a fortress. And you found Ombre and the body of Sentry on the ground. In a quick dash to try to rescue, he turned into a gorilla, ripped off the chains, threw Ombre over your shoulder. Silex picks up Centria around the same time that Amalthea does arrive back into this ice house. After a brief round of attempted combat, she kind of reveals her plot and plan to complete the Orion's Belt's mission of gathering the blood, the soul, the eye, and the touch, to bring back, as Amalthea said, her husband, who you all know is Orion. Then at the very, very end, you guys are still in this house. Freyr announces that he's changed his persona to a wizard that will soon be known as Krator. And at this point, you're standing inside this glass house. Krator has just announced his new persona from Freyr. Amalthea is still there. The goons are still there, even though some of them are looking pretty hurt. Freyr's actually not looking great either from the shots from your rifle, or sorry, your pistol. But at this moment, what do you do?
Were we out of?
While we're talking about it, we still don't want to. You see, we came to a conclusion, but we didn't actually think you'd want us to say it.
Yeah. Well, so Freyr's just said I'm now Freyr. So I guess any of us recognize that name? Is that
Freyr?
for?
No, that's a game.
It is not a name any of the player or the characters would recognize.
I didn't know if it's okay.
No, it's an out of game. Everyone actually except you two know who that is.
I guess Sage is probably going to back up towards Rain and get ready to pick up Ombre again and say, we're leaving.
Okay.
I'm good with that. So I'm just gonna start floating up. It's just a thought to float up.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some tree. I'm just gonna start to float up.
Okay. The rest of you?
Once I see the wave, I'll follow suit.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
It's reverse Peter Pan.
I guess I'll.
What does anyone want to do?
Oh, what I want to do is cause chaos. Because I have that box with cards, and I want to be like Haley and Alfia. I gave him fate between you and I. We each draw one and see how it goes. But I don't want to wreck what we got.
Watch her get a wish.
She's like, is the moon card?
Yeah,
Is the moon card?
I get 4 wishes? What?
Shit.
Perfect roll in the D4.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess
She
so.
doesn't need a card.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't think so. Being strong.
Yeah.
I will spend too much time staring at her. You know, and whatever kind of angry thing I can do with my zombie face. And eventually the thought, as I just start drifting up towards the.
As you all start to lift and float up towards the ship, Amalthea just kind of looks up and watches. She's going to say from below you, now, go fetch my eye. We'll be watching.
If I can get your dragon.
Crater says nothing. He's still casting cure wounds.
Straight up just like.
Yeah, he picked up some snow off the ground. He's just like, puts it in a snowball and goes.
Classic tough guy move.
Sage is gonna kind of look down at her and say, those things that Ombre told you to go do to yourself, do them to the bleed. And then she's gonna keep floating out.
Shane just had an image. I was like,
The GM needs to process the information.
Yeah,
So we're on the ship?
you're welcome for your friends back.
It's the final line off. Who gets it?
Yeah. At one point, Amalthea.
Hold on.
Okay.
What's on my board?
He's gonna yell. You better run.
I'm gonna hand sentry off to Zibro, whoever lands next to me. I'm gonna hightail it to get out of there to the cockpit. So
I'm assuming. Can you hold her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm strong.
Okay.
I'm just-
You're dead. I don't know.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
So
I've been hauling around this armor and this
That's
shield and hammer.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have my mini today, but they didn't get delivered.
all right. So you guys float your way back up. Silex sprints to the cockpit, throws that bitch in forward, and
Can you drive?
unless people are in there shoveling coal, which I assume you make commands, it starts to slowly patter away. It's not a goddamn speed vessel.
Look at here's like the jet.
Full speed ahead. It speeds up over time. It gets going. Like I said earlier on your way here, it takes a long time to get it to slow down. So stopping it's actually one of the harder parts of flying the ship, but getting it going just takes a little bit of time. So yeah, you're able to get going. Where is it that you'd like to set course for, Captain?
is Arbreo awake? Or
She
like
is.
out?
She's conscious, but she is.
One point of exhaustion.
She can't move. She can't do anything.
She's got 5.
Okay. Well, let's drop off what's her face, and then
What is
Yeah.
her face?
I don't remember. that.
Francis Cassandra.
Oh, Cassandra.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you were talking about Centria or.
No. I mean, we're dealing with that on the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our course is to go there.
Okay.
I have some more on the top deck. I'm gonna turn to Zinro since we have Centria and say, can we bring her back?
I've had a lot of thought about this. I'm gonna be a real big move, but I think you're going to have to be the one to bring it back.
Before I go over to her, I'm gonna cast Goodberry and hand them to you and say, try this for operate, so she isn't.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna go over to
I've never
Centria's.
seen Good Berry.
Really?
No, not me personally.
Oh, got it.
I know what this spell does.
I was like,
It's
what?
just- Nobody really uses it.
Well, because it fills your stomach, so
Right.
but she hasn't eaten in days. Then I'm gonna go over to Centuria's body and melt down and can I probably can't. Can I tell how long she's been dead?
Do a medicine check.
Roughly?
I can do that too if I was in here, because I did say that last time.
Whoever wants to do it.
Yeah. 18?
18. You're not a doctor, but you've seen enough people pass to kind of get an idea for what it looks like when someone is gone and how long. You'd say that she probably hasn't been breathing for 3 days, 4 days, somewhere in that range, just over 72 hours.
I'm going to.
It's airship noises. Y'all are in the sky.
Yeah.
See?
I'm gonna drag it.
Excuse me, I was playing with my toy.
Yeah. Little do you know that Vitra gets to see the dragon just playing with different. She has like a big
Patting
ball
it
of
to
gold, and she
gold.
just like she just flicks it. With,
Counting every single point.
What? 733,402.
740,400.
Two. 1, 2.
In the process, I will feed the good berry for food substance and operate, and then I'm gonna take her to where quarters is.
I'm gonna kneel over Centria and kind of put my hands on her and say it's time to come back, and I'm gonna cast reincarnate on her.
That's the good one.
Oh, yeah, you're sorry. Okay. You touch a dead humanoid or a piece of a dead humanoid, provided that the creature has been dead no longer than 10 days. The spell forms a new adult body for it and then calls the soul to enter that body. If the target soul isn't free or willing to do so, the spell ends or fails. It fashions a new body for the creature to inhabit, likely causes the creature's race to change. So you roll a d100 to find out what race they're in.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a big spell. It's like 500 diamonds.
1,000 gold pieces. So.
Wait, so
Well, it's
she's not
probably-
gonna go to the body.
It's probably a
It's-
gem.
it's a gem worth of
Yeah.
it.
It says, oh shit.
Yeah, the GP gives you
Oh,
the cost of
shit.
whatever
Oh,
the
I read
component
that
is.
wrong. Okay. I don't know.
I have
We have
500 in
I have-
diamonds alone, and I have other gems and stuff on me. So have that if you want.
So it's not a diamond. It's like a special lubricant.
It says it's worth it. Yeah, I don't have.
Oh
that.
yeah, because you're
It's like a
reincarnating,
greasy.
you gotta bring it
It's
back.
like a
Yeah, that
viscous,
won't work.
thick oil. that you
Shit,
need.
okay, so that won't work.
But you still have 7 days, 6 to 7 days
Do you
that
know
you
what it
think
is you need?
Yes, I mean.
What-
What do you need?
what
it's
do you need?
ungent.
An ungent,
Undone?
yes.
Yeah, we can ask the princess.
Yeah. let's see if we can look at
All right, well then full throttle
it. Yeah,
to Altheria.
Ulterior.
Altheria.
It's the same rule. I have 10 days.
Hey, I don't do everything with an A. Okay, sometimes it's a you.
Altheria.
Okay,
Go
so you lean over her and you're like frantically looking through your bag, and you're like trying to do the spell and it's not working, and then it clicks. You're like, fuck. This oil. But her body still lays limp. Cold as ice. Literally.
Rude. She's
extra.
no, pretty pissed.
Maybe it's like a free cryo, you know, like encompass it,
Oh,
like
yeah.
freezing the body.
Yeah.
That's totally it.
Yes.
Or doing it.
Actually, there's a spell.
What does that?
There it is. It's oh, spare the no, that's spare.
Respite or something?
Yeah. Caduceus always
It's a
does
special
that.
condition.
Yeah. This is what we did. Good.
No, she's gonna be pretty pissed, so she's just. More and more angry. Damn it. Pick up her body and start carrying her to the room.
She's gonna be pretty fast.
And
That's so
just.
funny.
Need to read that.
Go! She's gonna turn into a gorilla again and just destroy the deck.
Aubrey's up there eating the good birds like this.
At this point, I'm basically feeding it to her. She really can do.
Well, I figure I'll probably
She
put
just needs to
Centurion's
rest.
body down and then go and check and see if there's anything that.
On the deck. There's a tree of fire on the deck.
No, I take her down.
Okay.
I take her down to her room.
Bye.
See ya.
All the
Mm.
Did you take Amber to her room?
Yeah, it's right.
She is stiff as a board.
Then, yeah, I would probably go in and see if there's anything that I can do to help there.
Yeah, you just find me sitting down, like staring at her, and I'm humming a tune. And you eventually just, I don't probably even notice you there. I'm just like looking at her the whole time. I'll most likely rejoin, 5-10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, it only takes a few hours to get to Alteria from here. Was kind of on the way. And I got so fired up. It is pretty close to where the Dredgel Tiles are. It's definitely the northern part of the world. But it will take a few hours. Is there anything the rest of you guys need to do on the way?
I'm just on top of it. I guess I'm just gonna take a short rest.
Okay. Yeah, anyone who wants to take a short rest can expend hit dice if you have to. I don't think you took any damage or anything, but you can. So Aubrey's resting in her room. Sentry is also, I guess, in her room. Is that where you put her?
Where I put her,
Okay.
yeah, resting.
Well,
I didn't say resting. I said in her room. Aubrey's resting.
because I thought you were going to be able to bring her back. I will find you and be like, Centria lost. We're not able to bring her back.
I don't know. I don't have what I need. I'm hoping where we're going with the return of Cassandra, we'll be able to find what I need. But I don't have the materials. So
Okay, what is it you need?
it's an unguent? Is that right? It's an oil, a type of oil. It's pretty rare.
Hopefully we can find it once you're
Okay. So after a few hours, and this is still fairly midday, you guys start to arrive back over land, and you're starting to go over the mountaintops, the Alterian Alps, as they're called, and they're beautiful, well-formed peaks, evergreens and pines, all the way down the side, all the way to the base of these mountains. It's like a serene winter wonderland. As you guys start to make your descent towards where the city is, and you see the city proper from a pretty decent distance away. It's not nearly the size of Crete where you just, or from Venovia where you just came from. Well, it's less than a fraction of the size of Findlewind, which most of you have spent time. But it's still a large city, probably hosts a few thousand people, as well as its parliament. As you start to descend, how close are you going to want to try to land? And are you trying to land and stay, or just drop off Cassandra and keep going?
We probably need to stay.
We need to-
oil.
Yeah, so we need to at least start, but what does the city look like? It's surrounded by mountains? Is there farmland outside the front of it?
So it's like 3/4 surrounded by mountains. So
Okay.
the left, right, and back is all kind of pushed into this.
Like a natural barricade.
Yes, and then the front is where it opens up. This is kind of in like the north. If you guys look at the map, you'll see it's kind of in like the north east portion of the Fintheon area, kind of facing towards where Findlewin is along some main roads.
Okay, so is there farmland or can we,
Not this, no.
no, okay, so
It's too
I'll
cold.
think about,
Hey, what's good?
we'll just do 2-3 miles outside the city.
Okay.
So that we're not visually being observed.
Yeah.
But just enough that we can still make it in the city, we get the horse and the cart off, take that with it.
You will need 2 horses to pull that cart.
Right?
Yeah, I got it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Actually.
We can buy no horse.
Do it, so we
You can turn her back.
Yeah.
Okay. That's beautiful.
I'll leave the ship in the.
Okay.
Is anyone staying with Andre? Are we bringing Andre?
We initially talked about like leaving her here, but this is her ship. I don't know if I
Yeah,
can
so-
take her off.
You should probably let her
Right, that's that's the point. So I mean, other than, I don't want to
She can
waste.
speed, she just can't move.
Or one of us can.
I thought she was like.
Her speed is 0.
Really, yeah.
So she has definitely taken some effect. So she's 5th point. So she has disadvantage on ability checks. Her speed was half, disadvantage on attack and saving throws. Hit point maximum was half, and then speed reduced to 0. Her next point of exhaustion would have been death.
Yeah.
So she held on stronger than.
Should we
since
bring a
running.
restoration for out of it?
Well, I could,
I
it would
can-
cost me, you'd have to do each point, so it's gonna
Yeah,
cost me
so-
600 gold pieces.
I
I could
mean,
do it.
if we could take her a little bit away from death.
Actually, I have those gems that I took from her.
Yeah.
What
So-
what was the
I
total
cannot-
value of those? I forget. I had those gems and like rubies and stuff, but I didn't put those gold value.
I said,
Does
I
he happen to
have
know what that
those,
was?
so-
Oh, what was in her chest?
Yeah.
Only about 300 gold pieces worth of.
Okay, well, greater restoration is only 100 gold pieces worth of any gems. So,
If we could take her away from, she gets hit and dies.
As long as she can move, as long as she can get up and walk around, she'll be fine.
I'll-
You just don't have her make checks or attack anything.
I didn't prepare it today,
Okay.
so I'll have to wait till tomorrow, which will save 100 gold pieces. So.
I mean,
Yeah, you have to do it per day for point of exhaustion. So
Yeah, so if she gets her long rest, which assuming she will,
She'll
she'll go down to 4th today, and then she'll do another long rest, so it'll take her a minimum of 5 days to get back to home.
And I can pump 3 into her tomorrow. I knew the words were wrong, and then I got out.
What are we making over here?
I'm good for 3 pumps.
want to stay with her on the ship?
Preferably.
Okay, so then the rest of us, are you okay with the rest of us going into the city for a day or two?
As long as I can stay here.
I'm gonna show Zidra how to turn the ship on invisible. So,
Or- Yeah, you spent a few minutes
5
kind of
minutes
learning
more.
that. Yeah, the Xeris, what do you do with your crew, with your people?
Oh, rough. You know, they seem to be enjoying themselves, you know, shoveling coal and doing whatnot. But I do want to go ahead and take a moment and try to reconnect with my son while they're doing their little side quest of returning a president or a princess. So it's very, very toxic masculinity though. So I'm not very good at the whole like expressing emotions. So I'll just be like, oh, good hands, big, strong arms, and just.
Nice profile.
Thanks, Xeris. You too.
Oh, you could call me dad. That's fine.
I think I'm gonna stick with Xeris if that's all right.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
So what have you been up to? You know, for the last 20 years of my life.
Well, being banned, being not around, sucks. But I've been doing what you're doing now. I've shoveled coal into the boat.
So I'm really just, you know, living up to your expectations.
You're following my footsteps, son.
Great.
What do you want to spar, train a little bit, work on strength training, anything like that. You know what? I don't know what you do for fun as kids these days.
I think I'm okay. I'm really enjoying my coal shoveling. This has been a great experience, you know, in this magical boat of scary death that's defying gravity in a literal way. I don't.
No.
This
The coal is doing it. It's great.
We both know that's not true.
Well, I actually don't know.
Well, I think for now, it's best that I just go back and shovel. And if you want to, you know, I don't know, maybe spar later. Are you going to come back tonight? Or are you staying in the town?
No, I'll stay here. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be on the boat.
Okay, yeah, but maybe around like, you know, sundown when it's hard to see it, it's best to train in those environments. So.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, awesome.
No one's around.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll see you later.
All right, yeah. I'll see you later, man. I'll just go back to shoveling coal, but happier.
He's gonna do one of those like knuckle and then handshake and then knuckle and then. Yeah, hey man, I'll see you later. You both turn in the same direction and start walking in tandem.
You're both going to shovel coal.
Where you go?
Right next to each other, they both have the
That's
same.
actually, my shovel's actually right.
Can you make my shovel? Keep his hands in your
All right.
Right next
So
to it.
Zinro and Zaris are staying on the ship to help shovel and stay with his people to take Ombre and stare at Centria's corpse. Are the rest of you guys all going into town?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Cassandra is going to be giddy with excitement. She's going to see the town and start clapping. Say, I'm home. I'm home. Daddy will be so happy to see me.
Daddy.
Oh, dear sister, you're all right.
Come.
Come.
She's like, she's like looking over the edge of the ship. How?
I can help you. It's all.
Okay, but how?
I just pick her up.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
We have an extra foot.
She's wearing clothes.
You're not naked anymore. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. All I'm thinking is like, we're gonna get into town, we're gonna instantly get arrested. So.
Yeah, here's your naked princess.
Boys.
Well, accept our reward now.
She usually does this on horseback. I guess she-
So you guys get the cart down. It's a couple miles away. You guys get the cart down and start making your way towards the town. Oh, they're like speaking. No, that's not. I wanted like ambient noises. Don't speak in my noises. How dare you?
Many times go flying on the road. Conversation.
Yeah, it was like NPC talks in the background. It was like you there, you there, come hither.
There's a gibberish in the background.
Okay. So you guys get in the cart, a nice cart. You guys got your money's worth out of this cart. Who's the other horse? Because so Draco and Rain. Rain, what does your horse look like?
It's like a chestnut brown horse, like almost blondie.
And it also has like cartoonishly long eyelashes.
That was such a quick response.
Yeah, she was like, I've been thinking.
Like,
Anything else?
Oh,
Yeah, you ask Heather to cast the spell and it takes 17 minutes. But you ask her what her horse is and she's like, it's a chestnut brown with it's kind of
blonde hair.
it's got one spot on his phone, like it's straight.
perfect. Well,
I'm just saying, this is so quick.
no, I love it. So one of the most beautiful stallions you've ever seen. And you guys start to make your way to town. I saw like a D&D meme about that. Like one time, like druids can that's a money hack. You just go to a town and sell your druid as like a beautiful horse, make some money, and then the druid shapeshifts back and like
Walks away.
yeah, walks away.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I literally just came up with it.
Yeah, that was great.
We didn't count that much.
I don't think he has a hurt for Tash right now. So it takes you about half hour or so to make your way to town by cart and horseback, and everyone's inside except whoever's driving. So probably Benjamin, I'd assume, since he's the one who bought the cart. And so it's like you have a weird sense of ownership with it. Like, so you're like, hey, close the door softly.
Close the windows.
No eating in the
This is a cart, not a barn. Cool. So you guys make your way to the front of the city, and a lot like if you guys remember the town on the far west coast, where we kind of started our adventure in Illyria. Alteria is also kind of walled in. So as you guys start to approach, you see the mountains behind, but you also see this 15 to 20 foot tall stone wall that's kind of blockading the city, with a gate entrance at the front with a couple of soldiers in full ironclad armor with their green trim standing out front. There's two there. As the cart approaches, one of them kind of steps up, sees Benjamin in the front seat, a skinless
A dead cat.
undead cat. And he's gonna walk up, and the first thing you notice he does is he kind of scrunches his face.
I need a.
You're decomposing.
Hello.
Hello.
What brings you here, sir?
I'm just here to shop around and buy some things here.
What's in the car?
My friends.
Your friends? Anyone dangerous?
No, absolutely not.
Anyone from Crete?
Crete? No, I wouldn't be seen with someone from Crete.
Mind if I take a look? Actually, make a deception check.
Ella, that's weird. Stop.
Yep, it's
The
really
cookies
tasty.
good.
What is this? Weed?
Don't be a bitch.
12.
Yeah, you mind let me take a look around?
I'm kind of in a hurry, but
This wasn't really it was a polite question, but very required.
okay.
And the other guard kind of is already around the back of the cart, and he kind of knocks twice and see if anyone opens.
It's not the secret, huh?
Oh, okay. I don't look like a creature anymore, so.
Yeah.
Kind of look, he looks in and he's kind of looking at everybody, and he's like, hey, we have one. And the other guardsman walks around. He says, you don't know anyone from Crete, do you?
Is the princess in here?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's
It's
not-
been
she's
like
not the
years.
problem, though.
Okay.
You don't know anyone from Crete, do you?
Who are you referring to?
The bird.
Bird? I'm just gonna.
The people in the-
It's a bird.
The Aerocockery don't come this way. Too cold. What's your business here?
I actually used to work as a bar bouncer. I don't really know what it's called here. A bouncer in Fiddlewood. So just looking to expand.
Trying to open a bar?
Well, I don't open it. He does.
Oh. How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Sai.
Sai.
Hmm.
Oh, my name's Garlax.
He escaped Crete.
Well, I assume so, yeah. I mean, it's cool. You don't see them very often up here, but they're definitely from Crete. And the skinless cat upstairs said that you didn't have anyone from Crete, so I'm just trying to understand. Is he
He's
trying
not
to
the smart.
get something past me, or he doesn't
No,
know?
no, it's more of a tumultuous past kind of thing.
He
More of
actually, he actually doesn't even know that.
so.
Make a deception check with advantage, because he's already kind of believing.
Yeah, you look like shit, you smell. You're
Why
probably
not?
not.
You're half dead anyway.
Well, you said I'm not rotting, so.
I said
am I
yet.
still small? Huh?
I said yet.
Oh,
First things dead bodies do is fart and shit everywhere.
You're all out of farts.
Okay, so 15.
I was gonna say, you know, they put me out here to try to keep bad people from getting in. And they put me here because I'm quick with it. Something doesn't sit right. I don't know why he lied to me. Whether he's a stupid cat. I don't know why you're trying to get into this city, but I think it's best if you turn around and head back from where you came.
I'm gonna turn to Cassandra and say, Princess.
Can you help us out? I mean, we're trying to get you in.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What?
They're not letting us in the gate.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And she's like storms out. She, without any regard for the fact that they have weapons, she just like walks right like through the back of the cart and steps down, and she kind of does one of those like hands on her hips in front of the. She's tall, so she's like as tall as this guard, and she's like has her hands on her hips. She kind of does one of those points where like her fingernail like taps on his armor and it makes like a sound.
Very Karen.
And she goes, "Excuse me, do you know who it is you're talking to?" He's like, I can't say I do. I am Princess Cassandra Alteria. Let me in my home at once. And as soon as she says that, his eyes go wide and like the recognition comes right over his. You guys see it on his face. And he's, yes, ma'am, open the gates! The gates, open them! And like both gates just kind of like swing open really fast. And she just like walks ahead of the cart, like very proud of herself.
I'm gonna walk with her. Make sure she does not like.
I might as well stay with her too, because
Yeah.
apparently I'm not welcome. I'm with the princess.
Take her hand.
You're like flying. You're like flying above, and she's just like holding your foot.
Like a kite or something.
Yeah, like a balloon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna join Benjamin in the front, just so.
Okay. So you and Benjamin are at the front. The cart's now empty in the back. The horses kind of trot forward, a little bit lighter load now, without everyone inside. And you kind of follow along as Cassandra just walks down the middle of the street, just magnetically pulling all the eyes around. Everyone's watching as she walks down the street. A couple of bells say shame, just kidding. And everyone starts looking like out their windows down, and you kind of hear the whispers of, "Is that Cassandra? That's Cassandra. It's Cassandra. She's back. She's back." And she just walks straight down the center of the cobblestone road up to. There's this central fountain in this open courtyard. The fountain is a statue of Cassandra that they built in memorial. She sees it, and for the first time, you kind of see her buckle a bit. And she realizes that time maybe did go by a little bit differently in Horse. And it's been longer than she thought it was. And she kind of tilts down, hand on the edge of the fountain, and starts softly crying a little bit in front of the fountain. The crowd is now just kind of all looking around as this almost.
Is the guard still here?
No, they're by the gate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I
guys
figured
all
that-
you walked
one of
in.
them would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna."
Escort.
So he escorts you,
Yeah.
princess.
There's more of like a shout, and then that shout turned into like a courier that kind of sprinted through the
is-
town.
Is there anyone suspicious looking that like darts off the second they see her? Within the city.
Just keep your face.
She didn't
Um,
even move. She was like,
make a perception check with disadvantage. There's a lot of people here.
Oh, so that was a natural 20 and an 18.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Okay. For a total.
Hold on, So 24.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you definitely notice a lot of people kind of shifting and sprinting around, but it doesn't seem in a dark or mischievous way. It seems more like teenagers spreading gossip. You know, they want to be the first person to tell their friends that she's back. You know, it seems like a lot of excitement and buzz. A lot like Illyria. It seems like even though it's a bigger town than Illyria for sure, because that was just a small port town, it still gives you kind of small town vibes, like walking through, like everyone's kind of talking, whispering to each other.
Is there
And
any
it seems more of like a matter of buzz and excitement that she's back.
Is there any guards around?
Oh yeah, lots of guards around.
Is there one close to us?
You can make it so. I mean, you can. There's going to be guards kind of holding back the crowd around the fountain, kind of giving her this dramatic moment by herself.
Can I get one to come over?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you. Can I trouble you to go get your captain or someone of higher authority so we can escort the princess properly?
Of course. He kind of spins in kind of about face and like walks back. And he kind of leans into one of the other soldiers, whispers something, and then that soldier kind of takes off on horseback up the road you guys were walking, where this fountain kind of splits, takes off towards kind of where because the town's built into the mountain, so it's a little elevated towards the back. And you see him kind of galloping up. After a few moments, where I assume the two of you who were with Cassandra are kind of comforting her.
Yeah. I say,
You're just like, tweet,
Like,
tweet.
it's okay.
Tweet, tweet.
It's gonna be fine.
So I'm a slayer of men. After a few moments, you see a carriage coming down the kind of the long cobblestone road that goes up. But in front of the carriage, you see a white horse galloping with full speed. And on top of that horse, you see a very, what's the best way to say that? Very poignant, like very proper looking, poised, slightly older looking elf. And you see him from a distance, like he's almost glowing as he gallops on this horse down. He's wearing these blue kind of fur, it's like a dark navy blue fur overthrow, and then he has this like bright white undershirt with these blue buttons that go up, just very royal. As he hops off, he takes off his hat, and you see the same similar blonde hair as Cassandra, and he approaches and bows to the crowd, and the entire crowd drops to their knees as he gets off his horse, and he bows back to them. Cassandra meets his eyes and goes running, and she jumps up and gives him a huge hug. He's a little taller than she is. He's, to give you guys an estimate, about 6'5". Just a very large man for an elf, especially, because he's still fairly slender. The High Lord of Alteria embraces his daughter, and you guys watch. Getty.
I did something too.
Finally.
I know.
We can check that one as complete.
Yeah, and then another side, and then you hear someone from the crowd yell, "Oh shit!"
So,
Then you see winged blue dragon.
And then 4 colored dragons come. No, we're
That
not.
was a good part.
We're not doing season 1.
No Chrome Conflict?
so suck ass.
I would love to throw that in, but that's straight up stealing.
Mean.
You know, like,
Mean.
it is mean. That was very mean. Okay. So you guys see the embrace in front of you. You kind of see them speaking and kind of equally sobbing through smiles. At the moment, the town is like still. Everyone's just respecting this moment. What are you guys doing?
Still.
I'm not gonna interrupt that.
You never know. Sometimes y'all do. So I just want to ask.
What parts of me in the crowd, man?
Oh, yay, warm fuzzy.
Okay. Well, after a few moments, you see Cassandra holding the hand of this man, walking back towards you guys, almost in like a quick step, almost like a little bit of a skip. And she says, "Father, this is, oh goodness. I don't think I've known your names. But these are my saviors. This young lady here, she changed me from that awful stinky horse I told you about. What is your name?"
Sage.
"I told you it was a pretty name, Father.
And then like,
And this is my bird friend. this is my bird friend. Isn't he magnificent? And she like lifts you up. Isn't he just the most beautiful thing?
Three is none of you.
Oh man. And then she puts you back down. She's like, he's an incredible fighter. So I've heard.
So,
And then you guys are still at the cart, so she doesn't introduce you. But she's like, they rescued me and I promised if they brought me back here, which they did, that I would give them sanctuary while they heal and get back to, where they need to be. Is that something we can arrange? And she like gives like the puppy dog eyes, and the blonde man kind of leans his head down, gives for the first time like a true, just genuine, like royal smirk. Right? He's been like very happy and smiling. His daughter's here. The first time he kind of like arranged his face back in that smug, I'm royalty way, and he goes, that is something we can arrange.
Thank you.
Is that all you're looking for? Sanctuary?
Well, while we're here, I'm also looking for a particular type of, I'm never gonna be able to say this word, oil unguent, that
An
I
unguent.
need, unguent, yes, that I need. I don't know if that's something that your kingdom has or provides, but
We do spell casting, wizardry.
I do, yes.
We specialize in that here.
Oh,
Cassandra was learning. She'll need to be back in school, isn't that right?
well, yes.
That's something we can arrange.
Thank you, thank you.
What about you, sir? Don't allow me to be presumptuous, but from the looks of you, it doesn't seem like you have much of wanting. Is there anything I can offer?
For now, I'm sure we can discuss things in further. Do you mind us settling in and discussing things? There are also others with us that we would love to introduce you to. That have helped along.
Well, I'd like to keep you close. You could have, kind of leans back, looks forward. You can have a spare house on the grounds. It holds, it's a bit humble, holds about 15 rooms.
It'll do.
Will that be enough?
I will think of it.
Absolutely, I think I think we
Check
can.
with my secretary.
Will that be sufficient?
Yes,
for
that would be wonderful. Thank you.
you? Beautiful. We have a few things to discuss. Tonight, I invite you for dinner. We will make sure you are dressed accordingly. I think I have something to ask of you all.
Okay, well, we'll hear you out.
Cassandra, I'm so happy you're back. But you smell awful.
Cree chuckles just a little.
You quite literally smell like manure, darling. Why don't you make your way to your old room? We've kept it exactly how it was. Get prepared for this evening. We will see you all around 5 p.m. for the feast. You will be our special guests.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Highness.
You're right. I do like a bow. Like,
He bows back.
don't really know
Kinda
how to do what
A
I'm
very
Very
suave, just like very smooth. Like he's done this hundreds of times today. He's just,
Yeah. I bow.
and how many he notices and he's like, well trained. He does, as you guys turn to walk away, he does lift a finger. Says, one quick thing, Sage, because he never got your name. Sage. How many should we expect this evening so I can make sure we have appropriate seating?
I assume we'll probably call them also, so.
Leave
one,
their asses on the
two,
ship.
three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7,
It's
3.
not gonna leave.
Oh, 8, yes, 8.
You think it's
Right.
gonna
Well,
leave?
he's not
Well,
going
It's not
to.
gonna leave
right,
hungry.
that's something probably brain hunger, right?
She can't
Not
walk.
flying in a
Yeah,
bed.
She
I
can't.
have to have my greater restoration tomorrow, so
Oh,
I
okay,
can't do
so
it today.
then 1, 2, 3, 4.
Plus,
I would just say whoever's in the. city.
Yeah, and at this point, let's do it.
Okay.
Sorry, Sarah. Sorry, Keisha.
It's probably better. I don't do the whole close thing. So
Sorry.
I can't make it.
I can't make it for this dinner.
I'd say 5. It would be 5. That's
Okay. And he's gonna say only 5.
well,
We can accommodate that without issue.
Right.
He's going to snap a finger, and this guy in this great robe comes sprinting with this box. He drops it down, and he gives like the most exhausted bow, like he's been running from the.
Actually, you put the arcane lock on our door.
Yeah, and you have the access to,
And I would have told her the thing at one point in time. So I could.
if you want to, it's up to you.
I just didn't
I feel
know.
comfortable with the arcane lock because that is.
But you don't know about this.
You know.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He drops that box off, and the High Lord looks at him expectingly for like a weird, awkward couple of seconds before the guy realizes, oh, and he goes to open the box, and he opens the box and he lifts up this jar, and it's a clear jar, but it's filled with this like sloshy, thick liquid, and he says, he says,
Oh, really fast.
will this work?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Do not carry this yourself. And he snaps, and the guy picks it up and like
Okay.
he carries it over to the cart. He's like, "Is this your cart?"
Yes, oh, take it.
You take it. It's kind of heavy. It's about 15, 20 pounds. Like it's like, oh shit, it's like a lot.
How much do you need for,
1,000 gold pieces worth. So it's a lot.
oh, she needs a whole jar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like creating something out of this
Yeah.
fluid.
So is that though like enough?
Yeah.
Like, That's 1,000 pieces, would you say enough?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to take?
I don't want to go through and like she has to go shopping
Yeah.
again.
Like,
For
I would-
the-
I would-
I'm gonna hand her the jar, and
Mhm.
then I'm gonna cast haste on her,
Mhm.
so you can
Yeah.
book it back to the
Yeah,
ship.
10.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
She didn't say bye.
No, I'm I'm just gonna say thank you. This is a pressing matter. I will be back for the feast tonight, but I appreciate it, and I'll bow and.
I know what those oils are for.
So she got haste on her.
Yeah.
I was thinking you'd be flying.
I'm flying. I'm going. Yeah.
Okay. Like a little bat.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Well,
Everyone's
she
making
said,
all these
I was going
noises.
just for running, and then she was like, "Well, I'm flying," and I was like, "Okay."
And
And you did it the
it.
same exact time.
Okay, so you swoosh your way back to the ship pretty quickly. It's a couple miles away, so it takes you maybe 5-10 minutes. Like you're pretty fast. You're traveling like what, 60 feet in the air, like per 6 seconds. So you're pretty quick.
Double that.
Huh? Yeah, double
Nice.
that. So yeah, you get there pretty quick. The few of you that are still in Ulteria. What are you doing?
Where,
Follow to the house.
well, yeah, are they gonna lead us
Perfect.
to the?
Yep. So he turns and gets back on his horse and starts galloping away. Cassandra also starts to gallop away, but as she's doing it, she's like, yep. So you guys kind of gallop along. Those of you who are still in the cart, you're still a horse. You start to gallop and go, and you guys make your way up to this top of this hill now, which you're getting tired. You're not a horse often, so at the top of this grounds, you actually notice that the manor is very similar to like a castle. Like it's beautiful. The ballistas and like the top part of the castle are draped in this moss and kind of like draping plants down the side. And as you're walking up, at this point in the day, the sun is now starting to set behind, and so you get this like beautiful like dusk type of lighting on this castle, and it just looks beautiful. Yeah, like because you have the mountains in the background, which are glistening in the snow, and then you have the evergreens and pine trees and everything. just a really serene place. And then you get to your humble abode, which is bigger than the mansion that you guys just liberated. It's huge. It's about 20 bedrooms. Some of those are like helpers quarters and things like that, but mainly it's livable bedrooms for people to stay in. It's like a guest house, literally for guests. Plenty of room for everyone to sleep if you don't want to sleep on the ship. You walk around very comfortable, even though it's brisk and cold outside, and here it's perfectly insulated and heated. There's multiple fireplaces, which you saw on the outside of the home approaching, that are all lit, and you have that crackling fireplace sound and smell of just the like smoking wood, which is always kind of nice on your nose. So you guys get in there and it's extremely comfortable. But I'm just filling time until Sage gets back from the bathroom when she gets back to the boat. So
Well, Cree
How
is
about this?
definitely.
In the meantime, I do want to commune because I was going to do that, but it's good not having her here. But real quick in the three.
you just had to.
Well, no, I'll say like I'll commune while they were.
Hey, get the
away.
fuck out.
No, it's not a big thing, but I take some time while I'm sitting next to Ambre's bed. I will take a moment to commune ritually, ask 3 questions to Merkel. One, I understand that I answer to you, not the other way around. But I do believe if something were to have to have happened to Ambry, would you have let me know? So I didn't get any for Centria, but that's not my immediate connection.
A few moments, you almost feel like you don't get a response, and then you hear softly whispered in your head, "Of course."
Thank you. Is Centria's soul able to come back? And would you, well, that's the second one. The third one is the most prevalent. So the second one was, is Centria's soul able to be brought back? Is she willing?
How do my responses have to be worded? Can I answer however, or does it have to be?
With commune, it's supposed to be like you feel like a warm breeze to confirm, but it's however you kind of want to do it. So ask with the 3 questions, your deity or divine proxy. It's kind of whatever your flavor wants to be.
Okay.
If it's an unsure, you could be like,
Yeah, you're sitting next to her on the bed and you're asking, and you kind of get this brief stint of nausea for just a moment. And it feels better, but you feel like that answers your question.
So you feel like that answers your question?
Me? Yeah. Maybe not you guys, but I think I know where you're going with that. I held back from offering help, so I'm curious to better be aligned with what you want me to do and to keep the balance of life and death as it is. Should I be a little bit more cautious with whom I bring back? I guess my question there is like, should I not just be freely bringing people back at my own will at this point? Should I, if somebody dies, should I be willing to be like, well, that's Merkel's now, I can't really do it. So I guess that's kind of hard. If you need me to reword the question specifically, I could do that.
No, you just may not get the answer you're looking for.
Yeah, there you go. It's true. Gods can do whatever they want, I'll give you that.
You hear another whispered short phrase in your head. And he says, "Your free will is yours."
It's not up to judgment, I guess.
And are you, just for flavor, do you set up your skulls around you when you do commune and stuff like that, or is it more just you're just thinking really hard about it?
Well, yeah, for the flavor, I don't know. I probably would have put, like I said,
It's just
eventually.
a ritual, so I was like, how do you do it?
Yeah. Eventually, I do want to get, because there is a spell that uses it as a focus. Like I want to get a legitimate, like fist-sized skull with
Mhm.
diamonds in it, because it has to be worth 1,500 gold pieces at some point in time. And so, yeah, I'm just carrying around one of the normal like stone ones that I might have been able to buy or dick around with, I guess. And it's just sitting next to me, and I usually stare at it because that's like I saw his face the very first time we met.
Mhm.
So I had like I know I'm talking to something instead of it just being thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah. So I would basically be like staring into one, and then I come out of it. I imagine my eyes like raining over even more than they already are.
Mhm.
Kind of being blind to the world as like you talk.
Yeah. Well, as you're finishing up and you get that final response, you hear like the pattering of footsteps above you, and you hear like over where the stairs are, and then it comes running down the stairs down your way, and you see Sage holding this like jar of something.
Yeah, see the door closing behind
What?
me.
I know, I said I do.
Oh,
I whisper a word and like the lock going on the door. Is that what you needed?
Yes,
Good. Where's Centria?
I put it on, so.
Ah.
Head that way.
Show me.
okay. So the two of you go into Centria's room. Centria's body lay on her bed, I hope.
Yes.
Was he throwing the
No.
ball?
I left.
Okay. So how would you like to cast this?
I'm gonna sit down cross-legged.
It's gonna take you an hour, but
That's fine.
it's a casting time of an hour, so it takes a long time, so.
It's a complicated one. Okay, so I assume she'll be on her, I put her like laying face up on the bed, and then I'm gonna sit cross-legged next to her. Doesn't really give any particular thing, so it's just flavor at this point, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever you want.
I'm gonna go ahead and open the jar, and I'm gonna place it next to her, like by her head, up on her shoulder, and then put my hands on her shoulders again, and close my eyes, and you're gonna see pale blue light come out of my hands and into her chest, and just murmuring come back to us.
Okay. You're in the room as well. What do you do to assist?
Excuse me. It's always a little bit more.
Doing stop.
What do I do?
Being a
with
cat.
assist? Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't know if I should try to reach out to Mercure or I don't know if she can really hear me, but I will get down next to her, and it'll probably be a little weird because I'm gonna kneel next to her. And
It smells great now, like fresh ocean smell.
Yeah.
and I'll just kind of lean into her ears, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear me or not, but I'll just softly whisper, I could never thank you enough for what you did for my daughter. But you've gone too early, because now yours eats you. And I will
You just see some tears start kind of falling.
Yeah.
My eyes are
I
closed.
put my hand on her forehead and just look at her. I go, Mercure be praised. I'll stand up and just watch you do your thing.
So time passes. You guys are in the room, watching her body, watching the vial or the jar, waiting for some sort of response. You see this light, this pale blue light coursing through her body up and down, almost like a scanning machine in an office, just from tip of her head down to her toes and back up again. You see this light coursing through. It takes quite a long time. And 30 minutes pass. 40 minutes pass. 50 minutes pass. And in the final hour of this casting, you see the oil starts to bubble starts to boil. Then it goes still. Then you see the oil start to rise from this vat. And it keeps rising and rising till it's about 4 feet above the ground. And then you see it go, and it turns into a wave in front of you. It looks like a very small tidal wave. And you watch it, it almost gives you this illusion that the wave is moving, even though it's standing still. You see it start to crest and crash, and then you see the wave fold over itself, and all over the ground of this small room, you see this oil. It gets onto you, but you don't feel it. Like it's almost like there's a barrier on your skin and yours as well that just it rolls right off of you. And then it rises up again, about 4 feet tall. It starts to take shape. You guys start to see, both of you, a stout female hill dwarf in front of you. Blonde hair, 2 blue eyes. And once the oil kind of stops in its place, it looks like a sculpture. And it's just sitting there kind of slightly vibrating. What do you do?
So the dwarf is on the floor,
It's standing up.
standing up, okay,
It's just standing up, but it's not moving. It looks like a sculpture made of this oil.
okay. I'm gonna lean forward and just kind of put my hand up to its face and say, Centria, this vessel's for you, come back.
Do you touch it?
Yeah.
So as soon as you touch it, like the oil just falls to the ground, and leaving in its wake, you see the flesh skin tone of a female dwarf. And she looks at you, looks up at you. Looks at you, looks down at her, who's definitely nude. What is going on here?
Centria,
Yes?
Sage is just gonna like collapse, like sobbing, throw her arms around her.
Okay. Well, like she kind of stops you before you can like hug her. What's going on?
Brought you back
From where?
from, you were taken from death.
I'm not me right now.
That's the best I can do. I didn't get to choose the form.
She's gonna look at you, look up at you again. So, I don't like this. This is not what I had in mind when I went on that trip.
What trip? What? I'm gonna like also take a blanket off the bed and like give it to her.
Thank you. It's cold here.
All emotions
I don't know what's happening here, but I need to get back.
Get back where?
I'm sorry, but what's the last thing you remember?
My ship crashed. We were attacked.
Out of character, that's fine.
We were going from Illyria down the Western Ocean as we do.
Who's we?
My crew.
I have a question for you, dear.
Where would you have got me if not rescued me from the ocean, put me in this? Don't mean to be rude, disgusting body.
Do you have any children?
Yes, a daughter.
How old is she?
3. She's just learned to walk. That's why I need to get back.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, we hit the reset button. Which is good and bad.
Ah,
How far are we from Findlewood? It feels cold, so we can't be too far.
This is your nuts to crack
I
on
know,
this
I
one.
know.
I'm not taking the reins on this one.
Centria, I need you to sit down. I think we need to,
I feel short enough already.
I
don't-
get it, I get it.
I'm not going to sit. I'm not going to sit next to her,
Who's her?
her old body,
Oh, got
because it's kind of creeping me out right now.
it, yeah.
Does she recognize that body? as
Oh, yeah.
there? Yeah.
She's an elf, so she doesn't really
It
age
doesn't,
much.
yeah, made a difference.
But
Um,
is there a way that you can put me back into there? Be tall again, beautiful.
The nature of her spell makes it to where the soul has to go into a new form.
So, did I die?
you did.
I don't want to sound too crass, but you are looking at your own body right there. So
Explaining what's going on.
I'm trying, I'm just, okay.
No, I'm not.
Centria, it seems that when I cast my spell, you lost some time along with your body. I don't know a better way to say this. I am Sage. I'm your daughter.
That's impossible.
It's not.
It is. My
I'm
daughter just learned to walk.
I'm saying, look at my eyes, look at me.
Very pretty,
No, that's not.
but you're not my daughter.
No, it's me.
Don't know what sort of joke you're playing on me. But please, can I go home
It's
to
gonna
my
be
family?
really difficult to explain the last 25 years to you.
25.
But I was hoping when I brought you back, we would bring those years back too, but evidently that's not what Olmo intended.
Hmm.
We'll get to that later.
I don't know who Olmo is, but I need to speak to my husband. Where's Finley?
He doesn't know you're alive.
Of course he knows I'm alive. I do these trips biannually. See, I'm a diplomatic personnel of the Findlewind dynasty, and we have to deliver this paperwork to Fjordstown. It's a city in Crete. I don't understand why. And she's like, takes a moment and looks at her old body. Well, that's odd. She looks at the body and kind of reaches over at her eyes. She has blue eyes. I always had green eyes,
Yeah.
not blue eyes. This isn't me. Who are you?
When your ship crashed 25 years ago, you did die. And Olmo, the god of the sea, brought you back. I can't explain the blue eyes. I don't know why your eyes changed, but you became a guardian of the seas.
Is this true?
all of it has been true, yes. We spent many years raising my daughter on this ship that was yours.
It's from a natural one-way insight check.
Oh, yes, she's gonna.
That's so true.
That's so funny.
Sage is also gonna take off the diamond necklace that was Centria's before she left and show it to her and say, this was given to me when my father and I learned of your death. I've had it ever since.
She's gonna take it from you, and then she's gonna instinctually go to her neck, and it's not there. She's gonna burst out the door.
Wait,
I have a whole person prepared, so I can.
She's gonna like burst out the door and try to start like running and sobbing.
hold on, not yet.
She's doing
No!
it.
She's held it.
Alright, did you cast hold person?
Yeah, she's gonna try to run. No,
Just let's.
it's a wisdom save if you care to do that. If it's wisdom, she just got into a new body.
It's a 3. I don't have stats for this body, but I'm sure 3/5.
Yeah, they did. By a little bit, but just barely.
Centuria, please, I know this is a lot. Let's bring you back. You like try to bring her back. to the room.
Pick up the door.
Listen, I could talk, but at the
I'm
same time,
back.
this is interesting.
I know that this is a lot to take in. I need you to sit and hear me, and before you make any sudden decisions, just give us a minute to explain as best we can.
I seem to have no choice. Go ahead. Explain.
We could lock her in Andre's room.
Okay, please don't lock me in anyways.
I don't know, right? But with arcane locks, you can't get out.
I need to see my real daughter.
I am your daughter. I don't know what it,
Ooh.
you said yourself that you have green eyes. Look at my eyes. You named me for your eyes.
I'm not gonna hold this.
Many people have green eyes, dear.
Yeah, but you would know your daughter's eyes, right? Red hair. It's me.
Make a persuasion check. I'm gonna try to roll another.
I'm curious, just if you're willing to see what it does. When I got that triangle, Jim, in the bar,
Mhm.
and you said that one time I saw somebody's life pass through it,
Mhm.
and one of the, not gunmen, but one of the people was stabbed up. Stewart, I think Stewart was killed. Just for weird feeling, I'm looking at it, I'm looking at her. Do I get to, is there any way of like seeing the lifespan going? Do I think of maybe I can show her if like a lifespan being lived in a way? Or is that was just my own ability with?
So out of game, that was flavor I was adding during the passing of someone's life.
Gotcha.
So when someone dies and
It's kinda like it.
they're getting taken to Mercule and they're going through that hallway where everyone's like, you see
Yeah,
different,
months.
you're essentially seeing now on your coin if you're with them as they go.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a cool flavor thing I added,
No,
but
that's
it's not
good.
something you know how to tap into. I mean, you can
No.
try. I think it'd be kind of cool if you want to try like a kind of a higher check, like religion,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
or like a
yeah.
divine intervention or something like that. If you want to, you can definitely try to do some cool shit like that, but it would be a hard check.
Yeah, I would like to, yeah, I'm gonna try, whatever check you want me to do to see if like it had the ability to give it to somebody and they can look and they can kind of see like a passage of
Yeah.
a life.
Roll a religion if that's what you're trying to do.
Oh, it's not gonna get it.
We'll just go ahead and say the check is a 22.
No,
No. Okay.
Nah.
I didn't even get double digits in my dice.
Okay. No problem. All right. So you're like looking at that coin, trying to figure out a way to help, but feels a little helpless at the moment. Besides holding her.
It's 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
we can move around like a man.
Yeah. So what are you saying?
Well, I was gonna do the persuasion check that I'm your daughter and she knows it.
Come on, I don't want this scene to go on forever. Hey, there we go. Rolled a 19 on my insight, so
Okay.
pretty sure that she's gonna believe you now.
23.
So there's like a moment as she's being held there listening to you talk where she starts to kind of piece by piece put this together. She sees Centuria's body, she sees you, she sees this boat, the blue eyes, and you kind of see like a single tear just kind of falling from her eye.
I'm gonna have you.
She's gonna say, I missed everything.
Well,
You're all grown. Figured he had to do it all by himself.
it wasn't. We'll talk about it later. Let's piece this in. I don't want to keep dropping bombs here. There was a lot to catch up on anyway. We actually just recently reunited, so.
Ooh,
You and me.
because I wasn't there. Because I died.
Zero shot.
I just wish I could remember something. The last thing I remember, the ship was sinking. Dude, stop being weird. Oh, it's you. The last thing I remember, the ship was sinking and I was stuck underneath this piece of wood, and I sank fast and fast, and
then you heard somebody call Rick Centuria.
I don't know. It all just seems like a bad dream. And the worst part is I'm in this dreadful dwarf body.
I didn't have a choice on that, I'm sorry.
Could be worse. Literally could have been Dragonborn or some shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do I do now? I need to see Finry. I have to tell him I'm alive. He must be worried. Or he must have buried an empty coffin.
In the 7 to 8 years after we were informed of your death, he suffered. He suffered a lot. I'm waiting for Marley to chew on that plan. He did, however, on one of his own journeys, meet someone new, and we were able to have a family. Again. I mean, might as well just tell her.
Honestly, at this point, it's, yeah, you're.
I mean,
getting
you're
hit by
gonna
the
be,
bullet.
yeah,
You're getting hit by the
immersive,
bullet, not
yeah.
gonna go on.
So
Oh, damn.
you yourself actually also formed your own form of family.
I was dead.
You were brought back by Almo at the time. So you actually have
I
been
was
alive.
brought back by the ocean.
Yes.
Any other crazy things you want to try to tell me?
You have another daughter in the next room.
With who?
No, it's you adopted her. His daughter, actually.
What the fuck?
You found her aboard your ship after Almo brought you back, and you raised her.
I still-
She looks like a reindeer.
She does. That was so cute.
So there's a lot of deliberation
Sure.
and discussion that takes place. But you remember, it's almost time for dinner.
So this has been great. I gotta go.
I can't wait for this dinner. I have got this.
I'm gonna turn to Zenra and say, are you comfortable staying here with? Or no, do you want to come to dinner?
I guess I'll just stay here. Enjoy your dinner then. I'm sorry, dinner for what?
The king of Altheria has invited us to dinner tonight. Kind of to honor us for bringing back his daughter. I'm sure that if I sent word ahead that we would have an extra person, I would imagine they can probably make one.
I have no means of food, but I guess I should make an appearance.
I don't know, she can talk, right? Again.
Mhm.
I'll go over.
She's
there.
just kind of laying there. I mean, she's taking a long rest, so she's like just laying there.
Well, whether or not she responds, I'll go over there quickly and say,
See, I promised I'd come get you.
She's gonna like, she can't move, but she's gonna like kind of lift her hand up and just like rest it on your hand, like one of those where she just kind of puts her hand on your your finger.
I'll just say,
I'm gonna leave for just a few moments, but I will be back, my rose.
And she just like blinks, and she kind of see like this soft little like smile, but it's hard for her to do anything.
I'm gonna ask, how is she doing? She okay?
She's gonna need some rest. I can do some great restorations tomorrow and get her up to speed a little quicker.
I'm gonna turn to Centria and say, I know that we're gonna have to, we're going to be taking care of some business. I know this is a lot. Please get some rest. Please look through this is your room, look through your things, see if there's anything that may jog your memory. Are you okay to stay here for a few hours until we return?
I'd really like to see Finry.
I
Is that
think
something we can do soon?
I think that's something that maybe we can figure out, but Fenry doesn't know you're alive, so we need to take some time with that. Please promise me you're not gonna try and reach out to him until we come up with a plan.
I promise.
Insight check that shit.
Isla. Look up.
Oh, yikes. Oh, that's a 15. Uh-oh.
You get the idea that she's probably going to try to contact him as you walk away.
Centuria, if I can't trust that you're not gonna contact Fenry, I need you to come with me to dinner. That's a bad idea.
God,
That's a
this
bad
baby
idea.
gets
Just please don't. You're gonna be.
Could we-
It's
could
going
we-
to cause
How
more
about
damage.
this? Could we bargain just a little bit of your time for an assurance? If you wouldn't mind staying on this boat, making yourself as comfortable as possible. Give us
This is
24.
a boat?
Give us 24 hours, and then you can do as you wish after that.
Sure. Of course.
Inside check. No,
I
I mean,
just
we-
rolled. I just rolled like
okay.
yeah, over under. She would. She will.
Oh, yeah. I can see into her soul.
Her soul says she's not going to try to.
Okay.
Okay, great. All right, get some rest, look through your things. I would imagine there's some journals here and other things to look through. We'll be back in a few hours. And we'll-
And that-
So you guys get ready to go to dinner.
They give us close to it. Yeah, I'm gonna look at my dress and be like, I have to put this thing on. Then I get dressed and like, man, I gotta wear shoes. My shoes
Prettiest
on.
girl in the world, it's just not good enough. for you.
Yeah.
So you guys are all getting ready to go to dinner. Beach her. Hey, yeah, that's why we don't let her do that. Hey, lay down. Oh, there's a fucking cat there.
Hey, don't be a dick.
That's not gonna work. You gotta literally do this.
She'll not move him too, but she'll come in and he'll be.
Don't let his mouse. Don't let his mouse confuse you. He knows what he's doing. Okay,
It's like slowly.
Mitra,
I don't know what to do.
you're flown in through the top of the mountain, which flying by looked completely solid and covered in snow. But as she flies through it, you realize it's one of her many illusions. The top of the mountain is completely open. You fly down into these caverns. You hear the creaking and cracking of the rock and stone as the massive body of Alcaronte tightens up as she swooshes down incredibly fast. It starts to go so fast that she's not flapping her wings to slow down. She curls them in. It's just a dive. And you were starting to shit your little pants. You start going faster than you've ever traveled because of her weight. And then as soon as it opens up, you feel the strength of her wings go, and it just catches like an umbrella opening, just like a soft. And she lands down. You hear the sound of like little gold coins like trickling down as she lands. She kind of leans her head down for you to get off.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off.
And from her beaming eyeballs, you see that projection image again appear. And that same woman in the blue dress that you all saw last week appears. Brunette hair, fair skin, blue dress, not very pretty. But all the same, much less scary to look at.
Yes.
She says to you, welcome home. Not much to do. Make yourself comfortable.
I'm just gonna look around and see the, I assume that there's not really any places to sit or lay or.
This open cavern here is essentially her treasure hoard. So there's just an abundance
Yeah.
of wealth, but
But yeah, no, like.
the cavern itself opens up, and there are lots of little kind of tributaries, like little like caverns, and yeah, they go throughout. It's a big,
Yeah, we didn't even just explore that last time.
no, it goes.
Great,
It's got a web of caverns.
great.
But she says to you, and don't try to escape. I know where you are at all times.
Yeah, put that together.
I know when you were here your first time with Derek,
Mhm.
he had you play my favorite game. I don't mean to play the same game with you, but I am curious about your friends. Why have you aligned yourself with these people? These weak human people.
Originally, it was for money.
I understand that. But why now?
Well, over the course of us traveling, we've gotten to know each other and build bonds with each other, and I don't know, you start to gain a sense of loyalty, I guess.
So you would say that loyalty is something that means a lot to you.
In most situations, yes.
Then why did your friends leave you behind so easily?
I don't think it was that. It seems as though you're using me as collateral, as you put it, and that they're going to get the item that you wish to have and give it to you to get me back.
But does it not bother you that they so easily gave you up? When they had their items that they fought so hard to keep. Your friend Sage didn't want to give up her home. Your friend Zinro didn't want to give up anything. But you, your loyal friends, cared not if you were to be used as collateral. The only one that did seemed to be the fellow with the bag. He gave it all away. Does that not bother you? Your loyal friends that you've grown to know so well.
Yeah. And what's it to you how I feel about that situation?
All of my alliances are built on loyalty.
Not forced loyalty?
Of course not.
You're pretty fucking forced right now.
All of my followers were given something in return for following me. I gave them the protection and granted them a purpose in life, which so many people fail to have. Creates loyalty and a shared wealth. You know they're not going to find the eye.
I don't know that.
What makes you think that they won't? You sent them on that mission. Wouldn't make sense for you to send them on a pointless mission.
Been around for a very long time, Petra. Sometimes you can start to see behavioral patterns in people and things. Sometimes it's fun to play the puppeteer, the magician. Look at the rabbits. Here's that. Go find the eye. I take you. Who really wins? If they find it, great. I have it. If they don't, I have everything that they own.
You mean?
By killing them, of course. Which won't be difficult for me.
So what do I have that's more important than getting the eye?
Darling, you were the eye.
At one point.
You see the dragon's like nostrils flare behind her again. And you can feel the grumble and the growl as like the cavern kind of shakes a bit. And she's like, you were the eye. So no one's gonna know better where it is than you.
I don't know where it is.
Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry.
When I'm laughing at you, we're laughing.
Because I would know where it is.
Oh, I don't know, maybe I just haven't thought about it.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe I'm connected to it in a way that I just haven't harnessed through secret.
She's gonna reach her hand out
Ah.
for yours. Oh, come now.
That's what you just said is true.
Oh, come now. You're just an illusion.
You two are linked together and you can find it, you just don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well.
You reach your hand and there's nothing. It's just an illusion. But she's gonna say, no. And you see the burn mark from where the eye was. And you kind of look down at it. And then when you look back up, the dragon silently has gotten into your face. And you're like, you look back up and it's like the eye of Alcarante is like there. And the eye is almost as tall, like taller than you. And it's just like looking down. And you kind of feel like you kind of feel this like pulled in motion as she goes. I smell his power.
I'm gonna kind of quickly bring my hand back down.
She's gonna tilt her head back down and say, it's time to go.
Go where?
Get on.
You just said make yourself at home. In gear. Not on your
You feel a growl.
Okay. All right, well.
You climb back on the spikes.
Let's go, Mrs. Frizzle.
I know, right?
And she's as this happens, she says, we're going to the eye.
Oh.
And she goes straight out the top. Now, mind you, this all happened before you guys went to Amalthea. So this all happened as soon as she got back to the
A
battle.
little time though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little bit of little time inflation happened, but
Sorry. So I'm under the impression that the dragon doesn't know where the eye is, but it's using me to get to it.
Mhm.
Okay.
well, she knows you guys told her.
Well, it's in the middle of the hour, so.
Yeah, but you told her it was off the, like you literally told Amalthea or Alcarante that you threw it into the ocean of fluids down. Like I listened to it yesterday, and you guys literally used the phrase catapulted it.
Love it.
I mean, it's fine, but you literally told her, so she knows like generally where it is, but you get the impression that she's going to use you as some sort of dog with the scent to find it. now that she knows what it smells like.
People of Fjordstown are about to get the biggest surprise.
Sakina's mom is about to see some shit.
Yeah. Is she blind? Sense.
She's gonna feel some
She's
shit.
gonna smell something funny.
She's gonna be like, is that a blue dragon? Okay, so
Smells like blue
you go
dragon.
and you fly away. Back to you guys for your dinner.
Sorry about that.
Do you guys get the strange feeling that something's happening?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could just send a message to you, but that awkward is it?
Yeah, why would anyone want to try and communicate with me?
Yeah, you guys sending and shit all the time.
Yeah.
Except when she's
Right.
done. I mean, you can do that. You don't have to make it. Like, you can
Yeah,
actually do that. That would make
It's fine.
sense.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Well, the time dilation wise, I don't know where she would be eventually when we do get Aubrey and all that stuff back.
Which is all the more reason to.
Well,
I mean, you can do whatever you want. but
okay,
yeah,
well,
you
yeah, screw it.
I don't know,
Wait,
maybe I'm starting to believe the dragon now.
Maybe
I just gave up me for no reason.
Hey.
Mitra, the eyes over there.
Show up to
Okay.
sessions.
She also knows.
This wouldn't have happened if you were here.
You know what?
She also knows your
Fine,
dad,
I'll
so
just-
there's that going on too.
Yeah,
Wait,
there was
what?
that. There was
So
that.
she also
bomb
knows your
show.
dad, so there's that going on too.
She knows your dad, so that's going on.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even get a chance to go there yet.
Okay, yeah.
If we are getting ready for the dinner.
Mhm.
Let's check in.
Well, I'll just say on the way to going to wherever she was leading me, because I hadn't gone into town, so I don't know what's happening here.
Yep.
I guess I'd be like, guess I'll check on Vitra.
Hey,
Because we're so loyal.
did you guys invite Zaris to the dinner?
No?
Wait, what?
It's probably, I mean, it's honestly probably not a good idea.
Sorry, you didn't.
Close.
I think he just has dogs in a while, so turn up.
Hold on.
Try again.
I mean, the close thing is probably going to be an issue.
Try,
You know.
try.
There we go.
Hey, am I here?
It's a me. It's a Zaris.
I was just saying, it's probably not a good idea. The whole close thing isn't something that Zaris is down for. So
Oh, he doesn't want to go to dinner.
dressing nice.
What, sparring with your boy?
No clue.
My boy.
My boy.
My boy. My boy.
Excuse me, dearest lad, would you like to spot? Yes, indeed, Papa. Lose the shirt, we don't need that. Make sure to gird your loins, proper. Proper. Good ties. Those are some sick. Yeah. Those are daddy's thighs. I've seen those before. They're right here. Right here.
Lefty and righty.
Good shoulders. Compliment.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I will send a message to Vitra once we're on our way to the castle and say,
No.
you guys are on the way.
I said we could. 'cause
I
we-
know.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it would make you guys have used sending like every session,
yeah.
so it would make sense you would think to do this. What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just
It
kidding.
was just a reminder because we did the scene with Vitra, so yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
So wherever it happens during his thing, like you could already be in Georgetown looking for the
Yeah.
fucking thing.
Oh, I'll let you know where you are.
Yeah.
You can
Sick.
still
Okay.
send it.
I'll just say,
Because this is when they're going to dinner.
Mhm.
Okay. Ooh, I'm interested.
there's something, well,
I brought
She doesn't know this, but we do.
I started being convinced by the dragon that you guys all suck. And I'm like, yeah, that's the eye right there. Let's get him. I'm like next to Freyr during the battle.
Because I don't think you know this.
I'm building a small army on the other side.
I'll say, Amalfia and Ankarel are working together. Alcarante. Alcarante and Amalfia are working together. We've rescued Omri in Centria. We're in, what is it? Alteria. We're in Alteria, and I'm gonna have a few more words. Quickly going to the eye. That's all.
Okay,
Great.
so Vitra,
So where am I?
you guys, you and Alcarante arrived in Fjordstown this morning. The people of Fjordstown have abandoned the city.
Smart move.
Well, yeah. Everywhere Alcarante goes, there's storms in the sky, like violent thunderstorms. And so they kind of got an idea she was coming. just from old, stories and lore of when you see the sky change, run. So you guys have been taking turns kind of diving down, and you see like every time she dives in, she goes up and then plunges into the water, and she's like trying to find the scent of the eye. She's been doing that. At the moment you're on the beach, just for flavor, close to where you guys originally had thrown it into the water at the break of where the trees are after you fought Mezgul. And you are watching her like repeatedly fly up and splash down, and every time she meets the water, there's this spray of, she's the size of like a skyscraper. So she's just, it's creating these like thunderous claps every time she meets the water. And as you watch her, you hear Zinro in your head say that, which was we rescued, or Alcaronte and Amalthea are working together. We just rescued Umbra and Centria.
We're in Altaria.
We're in Altaria on the way to the eye as soon as possible. What do you say?
Right here. We arrived in Fjordstown this morning. Alcaronte is currently diving or hunting for the eye. Please hurry.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
And every once in a while, she does come over after she sprays up and kind of flaps her wings to get some of the water off. Every once in a while, she does come back and land on the beach just to like get another scent. She's
Oh.
Some shit or something.
Yeah, we're rolling the door.
For the group, right?
where's that bugbear's body?
Yeah.
Team player. Once I get that response back, I'm gonna stop real quick.
I don't know what your plans are, but we may not have time for dinner. The dragon is already in Fjordstown looking for the eye. We should probably get to the rest as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Should be coming.
You stole
I mean, you gotta get the.
I'll
yeah, we gotta-
try.
So,
I'm gonna go find some manure while I do that.
yeah,
I'm gonna cut my.
let's get to the rest of the group and maybe we can make a plan from there.
All right.
Can I fly him? Attempt to fly him.
No, no.
You have to do a strength check.
Yikes.
That would be a thing where like she gets done.
How heavy are you?
What, oh, you trying to pick me up to fly me?
Try.
I've got a shield and
It's about
breastplate.
200 pounds.
Yeah, I'm pretty heavy.
Yeah, no, there's no way. but
Yeah.
we'll
Go
try.
ahead and roll. You can get him a little bit off the ground, but your wings get exhausted very quickly.
All right,
You can fly him about 3 feet at a time.
I'm tippy tapping on my toes.
I can also turn it.
I got the boots. I put the boots. I can now go 50 around
Great, my
for 10 minutes. I
So,
assume we can get there.
yeah, let's do that.
So I'll click the
fly.
boots, use them for the first time.
You guys start running and flying. Takes you a little bit longer than before, so it takes about 10-12 minutes to get to town.
My boots ran out just a
Yeah, right as you get into town, you're like, whoa, fuck. All right, so you guys make it into the town. The guards let you in as he recognizes you. And are you going straight to the castle, or are you going to the guest house?
Probably go to the guest house to tell them what.
All right, so you arrive at the guest house. You see Rain, Benjen, Silex, and Kree. They're all looking great. They look sharp. Even Benjen looks kind of nice. He's got like a little bow tie on.
That's the only thing he's wearing.
No, he's got
Just a bow tie.
No, he's got a suit. He's gonna have a full suit. No, he's wearing a full suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots has happened. I guess we should probably start with the most important, work our way down. Alcarante has taken Mitra to your town and started looking for the eye.
You're there now.
Yeah.
How long do you think it would take us to get there? We were to take shit.
Few hours. Could be happening. Depending on how fast.
It's not great, but seeing as though we're not at full strength, we'd have to fight her there anyways. This might be a moment where they just get the eye. We have to get to her later. She's away from her lair though. Just super.
That's if the eye's even still there.
Right.
It probably is.
There's the possibility of as well. We push her to move. Your god could have it. You,
I know.
octopus could have it. I don't. I think.
An octopus stuck in
The
this.
thing is if we take the ship and we arrive at less than a rest for everybody, we're going in with 1 foot, right? Our healers, it's just not prime. We don't even have Aubrey. It would be a big boom. And I know you may not want her to be in the line of fire, but she is a very, very capable warrior.
What I want is different from what she wants, and that's her own free will if she wants to do that.
So, and I know that we've asked for refuge and you've asked for ingredients from the king, the High Lord, but we're still having dinner, he still wants to speak with us. So we could leave within an hour or two, we could press the matter of we are a bit of a timetable.
Yeah.
But leaving this instance, I don't believe it's gonna change quite that much. Because for one, we're not ready to fight on it.
But the whole reason to give Mitra
No,
was to
that,
give the eye. If
this
she
is the
gives
day of the eye.
What if she did it to Mitra?
Well, I don't know, the world. We must save our
Well, you know, this is great because he set up the whole loyalty thing, and now I gotta send you a message. He goes, you know what? We're gonna have to get the eye. We'll meet up. And then you're like, fuck this, man.
We'll see you when we see
We
you.
could use a nap, but we'll get there.
So, I mean, the thing is, Mitra is in trouble. She's,
As I'm just watching on the beach,
Well, we don't know.
playing in the sand.
Yeah.
but the thing is, if we go there and we try to take Mitra without the eye or without proper power, we will die, and so will she. So the end is still the same, or the depends on how we go about it.
What happens if she does find the eye?
Well, then I
Well,
assume she would kill us for failing the job, which is what the threat was. Right, find the eye or die is pretty much the tone. Or we find the eye before her somehow and give it to her, and then I feel like we're still gonna die, to be
What
honest.
if, maybe,
I was gonna ask something.
Go ahead.
With like what I had said before about like if there's some way that I can locate the eye just by being connected to it, but I just haven't harnessed that yet. Is there any like check that I can do to see if that is something that I can do? Can I try to locate it via being connected to it or being to that world?
Yes.
Sweet.
Sweet. Do I need to roll?
Yeah. You need to roll a general arcana check.
Wanna do
I'm
this
sure
when
that's
not-
real high.
You wanna do this when the dragon's not near you?
You would get advantage because you've been connected to this.
Thanks.
The way she said things.
Thanks.
With your modifiers.
I'll get +2.
You get the idea
Maybe
that
it's just 'cause
it's,
it's the first time I've tried to do it.
you get the idea that it's nearby. It hasn't gone too far. You'd say probably within a mile from where you stand right now. Not quite as precise as like a locate object,
Yeah.
but just the general sense of like your hand is like tingling and you feel that energy close by.
Okay.
She's gonna find it.
I mean, this,
I'll look at it.
how do we know any of this? So,
I may try that again later.
I mean, it's up to y'all. We can either, I mean, there's always the thing, we might piss off a king. So,
Yeah, I think,
Is there any way he could help us?
I mean, yeah, but we'd have to stay and talk to him.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of the friendly.
Yeah, that's
know.
Yeah, but
Are you guys
not-
really loyal to Crete anymore?
Yeah. I
We're
mean-
loyal to ourselves except Mitra.
See, that
You
speech,
know,
that speech works.
Grande's blue, I'm
Look, I'm
blue.
glad somebody said it.
Here.
I like dreading that.
I guess it doesn't,
To do what?
what time, when is dinner now?
Go to
Yeah.
LA
Okay,
or prevent
it
her
can't
from
hurt to
doing
talk to
that.
him and at least let him know what's going on.
Say it again, Joe.
What are you doing? What is he doing?
Which bit?
Well, I mean, there's a 0 on the tenor, which is good, but no, I rolled a 70.
I think he was trying.
He was trying to divine intervention.
I was trying to see if you could either slow her down, if not stop her, but move the eye.
I could
using
maybe,
some method.
I could maybe try to trade a Olmo, but I doubt we're gonna get that lucky twice. Right.
So you-
Yeah.
I was gonna say, use divine intervention, well, to be fair, divine intervention, if it succeeds, you can't use it for a week.
Oh, yeah. no,
Oh,
that-
I don't know.
You can't use it for another 7 days.
Are you chilling? You chilling?
And I failed, so I can keep trying.
It's the dinner now. Like,
Come on.
It's it's like
It's no.
they said like 5 p.m. and it's like getting real close. You guys are about to be in that point of casually like, you know.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
then we probably need to just, I'm sorry, go to dinner and we'll, I guess, request what we can there. I said I'm sorry.
They're enjoying a dinner with a nice king right now.
Yes, what are you gonna say
As
there?
we. So we're
Out
not
front,
far,
they does know where you
we're
guys
not
are.
far from Georgetown, right?
No, yeah, you are.
Yeah, you're
We're
across the
top of the
continent.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. I was gonna catch.
What map are you always looking at?
I know.
Did you say? Yeah, remember last week you were like, so while we're over the ocean, there's like
There's no ocean.
So I'm probably gonna
Directionally challenged, even in our fictional places.
should have seen us. We played code names for the parents over Thanksgiving.
I like that.
This girl, she was on some shit. She like, I don't know if you guys have played code names,
Yeah,
but it's yeah. So like you have this little chart that only the two people giving like guesses know where the like what my team is and what her team is. And like she would say something and like her mom was on her team. So like she would say the answer and she'd be like, yes. And I'm like, that's not yours. And I'd like put one of my pieces on. I'm like, you just got us a point. What do you mean? She's like, well, it's because it's upside down. And I'm like, that doesn't change it.
I don't know what was
It was so funny. It happened like 3 times. So that's why it was. Okay. Anyways, dinner time. You guys make your way up to the castle. There are white gloved servants and tuxedo wearing gentlemen with the platter with champagne flutes as you guys walk in, and I offer each of you a glass of champagne as you enter. As you walk through the great hall, there are these beautiful rugs, and there's this grand entryway. Seems to be one of the largest rooms in the castle, being that the castle kind of opens up into a courtyard. In this room, as you walk into the door of the castle, like the front entryway, this giant open area opens up into the courtyards for like a natural, like open feel. So there's a courtyard in the middle where they have plants and gardens and things like that. And this entryway opens up so you can just walk right into that courtyard. So you guys get kind of this, again, same of that beautiful scenic walk up. You kind of get a feel for that in here too, which is really nice, especially for the foresty folks.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I'm second it all in.
It's been a while since you really got to appreciate like
Yes.
nature, because it's just been so hectic. But
Okay.
there are a few other guests here. They seem like other members of kind of high luxury in the area. All just kind of making small talk in small groups of 2 to 4 people with their champagne and hors d'oeuvres. And you see Cassandra cleaned up. And you thought Rain was the most beautiful girl you've seen. Cassandra, dolled up, might be even prettier than Rain.
Yeah.
It's very close. And so you see her kind of do that classic, rom-com entry where she like walks in from like the staircase going down, and everyone like stops and looks up at her. And there's like a soft applause as she walks in. She just came back from being missing, so this party is essentially for her return. You do see the High Lord of Ulteria walking with her arm in arm. They enter the Great Hall, and you hear the High Lord speak to everyone. He says, "Dinner will be served in 15 minutes. It's delightful outside. Why don't we eat outdoors?" And he says that, and there's this kind of magical canopy that goes over the top. So you guys can still see this, like the sky, but it's like a canopy that goes over that he essentially casts. It's generally meant to be sort of, but you know the bubble that you can cast. What is it? I can't think of the name.
The tiny hut.
Tiny hut, but it's like a very large version of it. So it's that same kind of translucent, like things you can see out. You can see through the top, but if you were looking in, you wouldn't be able to see it, it'd be opaque. But it's temperature controlled, so it's not cold. So so it is beautiful inside here, temperature and all. And you look and you see this large wooden walnut table with chairs all the way around. It seats probably about 30 people. Not nearly as that as here, but it has the seating for such. Place mats all the way around. You guys feel free to sit wherever you'd like. But of course, the High Lord will sit at the head of the table with Cassandra to his right.
I'm like, tugging at
We're
my
gonna be like
shirt.
kids where we sit also on the other end.
Yeah.
Did you that's what soul?
Yeah, they're all gonna be over there, and you guys are at the end of
Yeah.
the table. So, is there anything you guys want to do before sitting down?
Yes. I'll probably just check in with Cassandra and be like, "You look like you're feeling much better."
Oh, I am. It feels nice to be home
Yeah.
and not a horse.
Yeah, and I can imagine.
You look lovely as well.
Thank you. I don't know what I'm wearing.
You didn't get dressed up. You didn't have time.
Yeah.
You ran straight
Leather
home.
pants. And then
And then she's gonna kind of look at everyone and say, "Everyone looks so beautiful. Not saying they weren't before, but a bit different now. I hope you enjoyed the dinner. Detti says he has an announcement for you all."
I just keep tugging at my clothes.
This uncomfortable, itchy
I'm
feeling.
so like, how long is this gonna be?
The typical dinner lasts 4 to 6 hours. Just kidding.
Did you really joke? It's the space probably was in the time.
So you all, over time, kind of get your seats around the table. Most of the other patrons, guests that are here, they actually do sit a little farther. They kind of give you and the royal family a little bit of intimacy, and they sit not all the way at the end, but a little farther, a couple of empty chairs between the rest of the guests and you guys.
I'll sit right next to you.
Okay.
The second seat to the left.
I said next to
I'm not gonna make the assumption that he has somebody next to him, so I'm gonna take the second
Oh,
seat.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe something
I
else.
took the first seat assumption.
Oh, you
Yeah,
did?
I sat across from
Okay.
Cassandra. I'm like,
Okay, well, you are,
So-
sit next to each other.
You all get lined up.
you. Sit next to me.
First course comes out, and it's a beautifully crafted kind of, it looks like some sort of duck confit type of hors d'oeuvre, like shredded like meat. It's beautifully seasoned and very tasty. You guys tear that up.
I was about to say, like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
look
really-
at her and see what she said she used, because I'm assuming there's a lot.
Yeah.
Overlap.
Yeah. Like,
Cyrus is just random.
Yeah.
yeah, no, but you work at a board, you just try to keep in your hand left.
We're good.
And typical small talk goes, and the entrees come out. Each of you have your option of a venison steak or a halibut that's seared.
I know we're sitting at a fancy ass dinner.
I'm chilling on the beach. I'm rolling in manure. Yeah.
In the rain. So you guys have your choice of entree. whatever sounds good to you, they have prepared. They have halibut, and then they have like a venison steak. After a little while, about 30, 45 minutes into the dinner, everyone's kind of enjoying themselves as you would, being 2 or 3 or 4 glasses of wine in, champagne, beautiful made meal. Lord Jacob, his name is Jacob Ulterior. He's going to kind of tap his glass, and everyone silences. Just
I'm gonna put it on lower crease, man. She just keeps eating.
Not chicken.
so he says to everyone, "Thank you all for coming here. And thank you for bringing back my daughter. She means the world to me. We thought we had lost her. As you may know, our countries are at war. It saddens us all. Unnecessary bloodshed and resources being thrown into a war is never something here in Ulterior we want. Regardless of the politics of our country, we stand in solidarity with each other. And I thank you all for, in this current climate of hate, showing kindness to my family and my sweet Cassandra." And he's gonna kind of take a sip. "But I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to ask a favor of you all. You are clearly very capable. Cassandra told me a little bit about what happened up in the Isles. It's a dangerous place to go for anyone, especially on a rescue mission of sorts. Congratulations on your success. I wish we had soldiers half as brave as you." And he kind of makes a smirk over at the captain of their armed guards who's at the table, kind of all dressed up. He's not in his armor. And the captain kind of smirks back at him. "Well, sir, we don't need to have the strongest soldiers if we never fight." He says, "Very well, very well. But speaking of fighting, it was brought to my attention by Cassandra that she was not missing or lost, but she was turned by a despicable man. I want his head. If you can do this, I shall reward you all with land and homes and sanctuary here within my walls, to be treated as the valuable players and patrons that you all are. I do not have a timestamp for such a horrible thing to ask anyone to do.
I'm just gonna look at Benjamin. Yeah, request accepted.
But if it's possible for you to bring me the head of Sir Erwin Erebor.
Snaps in row. Yeah.
Well, he said it a little different, like, I was.
Erwin Erebor. Sorry.
Yeah.
Erebor is from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Sorry. If you bring me his head, you will be treated like royalty here, as you should.
I'll just take the dagger that I'm listening to him talk to go. I'll put it like on the table and see if he notices, and I'm gonna be like, if I catch his attention. Well, I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious I'm doing it because it's like a clump.
Yeah, it's very quiet,
Yeah.
and you hear just like a.
Yeah, and then you can see as I go.
That's Lord Eberron's dagger. I plan to kill him with it. So I'd say you probably have a right group of people.
Well, then I wish I wouldn't have offered so much.
He was waiting. He didn't have to
No backsies.
Do you know
I am
where,
joking.
do you know where was he last seen?
He's a member of the High Council.
Oh, well, still, okay.
Within Finduin is where he resides. He's too cowardly to leave, even during war.
That is very true. He wouldn't leave his home or his abode for any reasons. I mean, when he hunted me down, he took a dozen men for one.
Sounds like somebody who would love a visit. We are not killers here. To ask such a thing is why I held this private party for you. These individuals, and he kind of looks up at the people at the end of the table, and they all kind of look up and then look back down at their food. These individuals can help you gain entry into Finduin. They are highly trained and may assist you if you so need it.
Well, you may not be killers, but Eberron turned me into one.
Oh snap.
Excuse me
Oh
while
my
I
God.
drop this bomb.
Has anyone seen the microphone? No, it's dropped.
It's been dropped to the floor. It's right there.
Okay.
I dropped the bike.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. I actually, we have one.
Access into Fendelwind is greatly appreciated because the majority of our group, as you can see, is not high elves. So getting entry anywhere close to a high
Well, that's where he snaps and all of your appearances turn into high elves for a moment. And you look around and you see everybody, he snaps and he goes, that's where a little bit of magic comes in. He snaps again, you guys go back to
that is quite wonderful.
Cool.
As I said, we're a magical society here in Ulterior.
That is
I'm instantly like, that was all really weird for a second, not Sigma.
That is quite wonderful. I will say, we do appreciate the timestamp thing because we may require assistance in a very quick manner. We're currently dealing with another issue.
which we find ourselves a little bit
Pressed for time.
Well, I
pressed for
promise you,
time and ill-equipped.
We
I
gotta go
prom-
save somebody.
I promise you that Cassandra will not be leaving my walls for quite some time. We'll have her professors from Hudol College bring her textbooks here. She will continue her training. She will continue her training as a wizard and hopefully make up for lost time. But I just want to know that the person responsible for this pays the ultimate price.
I'm sure we can work on arranging that.
No, we'll start anything again.
Then we have a deal. Cheers. And he like lifts his glass. It's almost like a verbal contract. Cheers.
Almost want to be like, hey, you think he has a price tag available? I mean, the 2 for 1 special.
Anybody else need to kill?
Though I would be remiss in not bringing up that we could use some armaments for our current task.
What is your current task?
To rescue another member of our group who is.
You just keep your plate nice and full, don't
We
you?
do a lot of rest.
We yes, it has been quite a hectic
Let's go out and say it.
day,
Giant blue
I
dragon.
guess, 2 days.
Yeah.
What?
You might as well just say it. We're dealing with a giant blue dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a dragon which must be dealt with,
The dragon.
an ancient one.
To my knowledge, those were long extinct.
I'm
I'm assuming you know better than I. I'd like to assume that this beast stays where it is and not come here. So I would love for you to go and take care of that.
I'll come up there.
What is it
gonna write it down.
I could possibly
Okay.
offer you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fight it. I don't think we're equipped for such things either.
Do you have any magical armor, weapons?
More of ornaments, but maybe.
defense.
Alcaronte is probably gonna be pretty hard to defeat with what we have now.
See if you-
Alcaronte.
See if you heard that.
Yeah. Sorry, is there like some shift?
Yeah.
You see him squint, kind of like reaching to the back of his mind. You know, I've been around for just 600 years. Until this moment, I've always assumed she was a myth. A scary story that I used to tell Cassandra if she didn't clean her room, Alcaronte would come and take it.
Yeah, no.
She definitely does take.
She definitely does take.
She's very real.
Right on there, fella.
I cleaned my room.
Even materials would be.
Whatever we have to offer, we shall give. But I need more specifics.
Well,
Because-
Lightning resistance is great.
things to help
Yes.
prevent lightning damage.
Like magic.
Yes.
Now we
Magically enchanted items that can provide damage against dragons, weapons with magical nature.
You got any more of these going?
Iron stones.
Heals
I have
and
an
lightning,
iron stone
so.
that revolves around my head.
it's
The spell absorb.
it's difficult in these times. Any other moment we would have an abundance of helpful knickknacks and items. But as a subsidiary of the 15th dynasty, during war, our enchanters were worked much harder than usual. We don't have hardly anything like that. We have materials, sure, but pre-made magical items. We have wizards that can do magic. Pretty powerful, I'd say. But our equipment was for the cause and would need time to replenish. If you come back in 6 months to a year, I may have some things for you. But I assume you don't have such time.
If you-
Enchanting takes time.
I know full well. If you have materials of a draconic nature, or maybe we'll look up something for our groups.
Okay. Are you searching for anything in particular?
I'm hoping to be able to make a Dragon Slayer blade, or
Okay.
multiple, so we can get that extra damage.
Okay.
And I'm assuming, because I can make a +1 sword, but I'm assuming I would need draconic materials to make that, because it's a rare item, I think. It's rare.
Okay.
And to make that into a blade, or a weapon of some kind, I'm assuming I would need draconic materials to do that, as well as metal or various rare metals.
Okay. I'm trying to see what
Everyone's a dad.
No?
trying to see what items it's made of.
Soaked up.
Yeah.
Joke was in a hotel in my room. Chess players bragging, whatever it is. There's nothing worse than chestnuts roasting and open for you.
Nice.
Very
I like
cheesy.
it. Yeah, I like it.
What happened to the game stuff?
Because he was trying to talk about stuff for his like, and then some.
Right. How long has it been since I sent the message to Demetra?
Oh, an hour and a half.
That's a long time for a dragon to continually diving into this.
Yeah, where are we at? Am I just like chilling on the beach? Can I try Arcana again? I don't know how, I don't want to like ever be like, oh, I failed, let me try again. Oh, I failed, let me try again, right? So I want to wait a good amount of time before we're doing that again.
Oh,
So I'll say for 2 years.
I'll
You guys
get
are
you
north,
this
right?
one, so I want to see what they need to finish
Yeah,
up
that's
here.
fine, totally fine.
Sorry.
Okay.
This is fine.
I kind of, an hour is a long time. I'm like, should I check in? But I'm burning through spell
Right,
slots
yeah,
here
I
at this
know,
point.
Alright, is it-
We need to figure out what we're doing here today before he goes
Trying to
back
get
to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, just materials to make weapons and magical and those items.
Well, that we may have. Now, it's getting late in the evening, but we don't keep those sort of materials in the castle. In the morning, feel free to come back.
I'm gonna look at them. Do we press it for time or?
That's a long night's rest. Get some breakfast.
Well, I guess at that moment, I'll be like, I'll see where Beecher's at, I suppose. And I'll send her a message, sending a message to you now. It's only been an hour, but at the same time, it's curious.
Trying to figure things out on our end. Has the dragon found it? How quickly do we need to be there? Because
Right away, right now. People are still healing.
yeah,
right?
we need time to recuperate, and that's like the only thing you hear.
Well, hold on. What's her situation? Because this could change her message.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, no, he's sick. What a lovely view of how, what is this?
No need. Live your life, guys.
Yeah.
Is it chilly in here with the wind or something? Oh.
Yeah.
She's alive.
She found the eye, headed back to cavern. She plans to kill you all.
Not surprising at first. Third one, didn't even think of any other solution.
Yep.
We'll not press for time anymore, Simons. She's found it. And they're heading back to her
I
lair.
think all of our heads instantly drop.
Well,
What
we
happened?
will- Just some unfortunate news. I will pick up the materials in the morning. Thank you.
Get to enjoy the
Well,
rest
then
of
that's
the
plenty of time for dessert. They come out with like platters of, strawberry and chocolate cakes and ice cream and just delicious desserts.
I don't think Sage's gonna be in the movie.
I think that's the irony of it.
Well, the worst part is like, I'm eating and stuff, not to be rude. but
Yeah.
It's nothing. I can't taste
Same
it.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting, so I'm downing champagne and I'm like, I don't taste a single thing.
I decline dessert though.
Oh, I understand you have to fight a dragon. You want to stay
Diabetes. is-
limber. That's great. Now I can't help but notice. Are you, by chance, alive?
I was gonna say dead. Yeah, and I'm no longer of the living. You are correct. My God has bestowed upon me a permanent sense of.
Yes, I've never seen someone so articulate while not talking.
Oh, well, this doesn't really work anymore. Shall I?
Please not at the table. Please not at the table. No.
See what I mean?
Okay, so you guys, he's going to make a list of things that you need. Just so you know, he'll be able to gather enough materials to make one Dragon Slayer blade for you.
Okay.
What was the other thing you needed
Material for my rifle.
for your rifle?
Like his strongest wizard.
We wouldn't have materials for the rifle. He would have like basic steel.
I mean, that's
things
what it
like
was
that.
made out of. It was-
Yeah, he just won't have like gunpowder or,
That's fine. I
okay,
just need to make the rifle itself.
yeah, you would just need like a forge more than anything.
If we had a
So-
wizard, we could ask for dragon scale. We don't. That'd be good to have.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't even have any to show them. So.
True.
Yeah, get it all out, aren't they? Stupid.
It was just that sliver.
Oh, and her chest piece.
So this will be a
Alright.
fun week of planning.
Well, I mean,
If we make it a week, she might be headed out.
So-
She knows where we are.
You guys,
He trained since you went back to the lair.
yeah, you guys get your dessert, whether you enjoy it or not.
This is fantastic. Fantasy.
And the Alcarante and Vitra do arrive back at the cavern. And the eye of Orion is placed at the back of her hoard. And it's shining like it did that first day you saw it in the snowy forest, hovering above the rest. And Alcarante just lays down, rests her head on her pile of gold, and just starts almost purring of a growl. Happily completed her portion of this agreement she's made.
So nothing had happened when she grabbed it. Okay.
You wanna go touch it again?
No.
And that woman in blue, she comes to you now holding a glass of what looks like some sort of white wine, and she carries it over to you, sets it down, and it actually is real. Sets it down in front of you. She says, you know, surprisingly, you're more helpful than we thought. Thank you. You don't think your friends would be upset, do you? That we found the eye.
I don't know. They might be a little upset.
Well, that's if they even come for you, isn't it?
I really have no doubts in my mind that they're gonna come back for me.
Do you know where they are?
Where they are?
I told you.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Because it's nowhere near Morrowgast. Nowhere near where the eye is or was.
That's very accurate.
Yet they said they were going to go save you by getting the eye.
If I know anything about this group of people, it's that no matter how many side quests we go on, we always get to the end goal.
We eventually get our eye.
Made on a t-shirt. We always follow through with what we set out to do. Yeah.
And you're going to see. So the first time you guys were in the cave, if you remember, there was like a projection of Derek on the wall.
Yeah.
She's going to say, it may be true, but how do you explain? And she's going to, on the wall,
Oh God.
she's going to show a projection image of a scrying spell that she had cast. Of you guys enjoying
You guys at dinner.
steak dinner dressed up, steak dinner dressed up, wine in this luxurious open space. Do you explain? Does that look like people who are coming to save you? Or does that look like, or does this look like people who
Be an
are?
asshole about a rule.
It's not an actual tiny hut. It's just to stop the snow. I just want to give you the effect, like what it
No,
looks like.
I meant the rules, there's a technicality in Scrying where it says whoever, are you doing on the location?
Location.
Oh, she's familiar with the location.
She's ancient.
Wait,
She's,
yeah.
she's known this
She's
world.
been everywhere.
She been there.
I'll travel everywhere.
Yeah, if it was a person she was doing it, she'd have to do a saving throw.
That's what I was curious about.
Does this look like people who are coming to save you in a hurry? Or took the first opportunity they got to celebrate? While you, not to say I'm bad company, but are stuck here with me.
You are back.
So to make it as fair as possible, I offer you a glass of wine. Arguably the finest glass of wine you'll ever have in your life. It was stolen from the king. Apparently it's worth thousands of gold for this bottle. I don't enjoy it myself, but I've heard it's delicious.
Do I get any sense that the wine is like in some way?
Roll insight.
Oh, right. So-
Hmm.
Well, there you go. I'll still do insight check.
That dice slapped the box so hard, and it was a 1 to mock it.
Yeah, I don't know any better.
It just looks like really nice white wine. It smells nice, looks good.
I'm gonna kind of like glance back up at is the scrying thing still up there?
Yes, it's not actually scrying like
Right, it's
live,
just, it's like
just-
this
she-
is what she got earlier.
Yeah, blue
She's, like,
dragons are known
trying
for
to-
like projecting images, and so this is
Okay.
kind of her thing, is to like
Okay.
display and like project. So you get the idea that she did the scry earlier, and this is just like from her memory of what happened.
Okay, so I'm gonna like glance up there real fast and then kind of look back maybe towards her, like down at the ground and say, I know what you're trying to do by showing me this image. I'm not sure why you're trying to do that. Why do you want me to turn against them?
Well, candidly, who you turn to or away from matters almost nothing to me. But I do like having loyal followers. And I believe that to be loyal to something is to stand up for something greater than yourself. And that's just, well, that's a powerful thing. And that's why I've survived all these years. In the belief of others. And it angers me so deeply. That they don't want to save you, it seems. So, do I kill them now? No. It's better if they come here, isn't it? I could fly to them.
And yet you don't.
There's a predictive nature about these people. They will come for you. In their own sweet time, sure, but they will come. And when they do, they will be met with me. And a few tricks I have up my scales. But more so. About 4,000 to 6,000 years ago, this place looked very different. There wasn't humans or elves or dwarves. There was all sorts of elemental beings. There were gods, youthful as they were. There were dragons, as strong as we were. But over time, these pesky little beings started sprouting up, and wouldn't you know it, if we didn't squander them while we did, they just kept multiplying disgustingly. You'd blink, a century would pass by, and there'd be towns full of these things. Well, then those towns turned into large cities. Those cities turned into colonies, and those colonies turned into nations. Before you know it, it's not just a squandering, it's a genocide to get rid of them. Now, I personally love a decent genocide, if there's reason. But they're just not a threat. It doesn't feel like a fair fight. So I asked advice from an old friend. And he told me the way to be superior than these pests is to be friends with them. You build an alliance, you create a following, and they worship you like the god that you should have been. And that's what I've tried to do. I feel like I've been fair, been offering things in return. But the rumors told me that being a friend with a person, a little pesky human, gives you this feeling of power. And once I felt that for the first time, I cannot go back to just being Alcarante the Great. I need to be the hidden queen to my people. And I believe you know who this person is, Urumash. I believe he also made friends with a human. If you know what I mean. So, consider me like a long distant aunt, taking you under my literal wing. But hey, at least you have loyal friends. We go back to Alteria, where you guys are finishing up your dessert.
Shit.
You head back. Are you guys sleeping in the guest house or going back to? I assume you're probably going to go back to the boat.
Yeah.
He's probably going to go back to the boat. Are you staying in the guest house or to the boat?
What are y'all doing?
I'm gonna have to cook the material for the morning, so I'll stay here.
Guest house. The guest house, by the way, super nice.
probably-
I was like, super nice.
I'll go to guest house because we have the cart and if you need me.
Yeah, my
Oh, good
cart-
call.
So I'll be.
They probably would have given you a horse, but still.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, but
Who's the table
That's
next?
the second time you've done that today.
It ain't not.
oh, that
it
was a
ain't
good
funny.
one too. That was like right on it. Okay, we're good. We're good. It's just a quick sting. All right. So, guest house, boat. Sweet. So, you guys go back to the boat. You know, fill Centria, dwarf Centria, in on your dinner and kind of tell her about your mission.
I informed Zeris of all the stuff that has happened.
Yeah, Zeros now knows what's going on.
Shoveling coal with his boy.
He's been competing this entire time.
Yeah.
My boy.
Yeah. There was like a couple of moments where the boat, by the way, is not moving, so there's no need to continually shovel coal. But you have like Zeris and his son just like ferociously shoveling coal, almost like to compete as like a macho thing. And to someone looking in, it may seem really weird, but they're bonding like crazy. Zeris, is there anything you want to do before heading to bed, or do you just want to get a nice sweat while doing your thing?
They give you
Just you know, just really cranking it out, you know what I'm saying? Just
phrasing while
Okay.
yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so you and Gaprin like finish up. I assume at some point you guys have your little spar session in. Good sesh, you know.
Good
lots of-
sesh, you know.
You showed him some things about like when you rage, if you like think about this, your rage gets even harder, and like you guys kind of had some moments.
Puppies against the-
Gets so hard, bro.
Yeah, you
Such a hard rage, bro.
exactly. So
Right, bro.
lots of moments. But other than that, is there anything else you guys want to do before heading to bed?
I would probably want to go check in on Amru myself too, just to see how she's
Okay.
doing.
Do you allow that?
yeah,
Can I
sure.
say hi?
Come on in.
She is
Can I say
still
hi?
resting, unable to really move, but she can speak softly.
In the short bits of time, I would have informed her that Centria did die, but she was brought back. She will be different, and she may not have any memory of it. I mean, it's a big thing to drop on somebody who's resting, but
Yeah.
Somebody who can't move.
no, it's just it's like
What?
idle talk. I'm trying
She's
to
like-
communicate with my daughter. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just I
Yeah.
can only do
The
what
one
you
person you could consider as a mother for the past 25 years is no longer there.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Not bad.
Yeah, she's you see her. It's hard to describe, but it's you see, without her giving too many facial expressions, you almost see her go through a cycle of emotions where she goes from being confused to being upset to sorrow. And you just see kind of her like staring at the ceiling, not even making eye contact or looking at either of you, just kind of looking up at the ceiling. And you see her kind of start to cry in a really like trying to fight the tears back type of way. And she just kind of sits there softly sobbing. And then you walk in after he told her that. Then you walk in to check, and that's what you see at the moment. Anything you want to say?
So I didn't hear Zimro tell her, so I'll just.
Yeah, you just walk in and she's
Sobbing,
crying.
yeah, so I'm just gonna kind of look questioningly, like,
I told her to send for you.
I'm gonna sit down just on the edge and just kind of take her hand and say, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna do my very best to see if we can bring some of those memories back. And in the meantime, just rest. You're safe. We're gonna just come back to that.
Just gonna hear softly. She says, "Thank you, both of you." And then she kind of closes her eyes and tries to go to sleep. Yeah.
I do that lullaby that I did to her. She was a baby. Actually, this is
He actually did. And he read it out. He read it to me over Facebook like a year ago. So
yeah,
you finally actually get to hear it in game.
it's kind of a weird beat, but it's what I wrote. So she would hear, I guess. Soul's eyes do rise on the eastern sky as you were born to me. You're fresh and new as morns first do, cozy on the leaves. The light is bright, so open your eyes, see all there is to be. We're here for you, through and through, our love shall be the key. The sun's now high in the midday sky, you walk all on your own. Your shine's now bright, we're all delight to see how much you've grown. You'll find your way in sunlight's day, our pride will be so vast. We'll know that we, with all we see, our watch can end at last. It's time now for the sun to set, the years have been too kind. Our age does stay to take us away, sweet child, rest your mind. Our sun may set, but please don't forget, and know this to be true. The rays may wane, but never fade, for our light still shines with you.
And she falls asleep.
Whatever, a little bit, whatever tear might happen on Zoom, I don't know that you can, but Art can log in, log out of the room.
He carries her a vial of like fake tears for effect. Okay. Well, everyone gets some rest, and the next morning you wake up, and we're gonna end the session there, just to keep it in time constraints. But we'll wake up the next session ready to go. You excited that we got this one in?
Yes.
So this table's gonna be a battle
Yes,
map.
so, yeah.
Streets finally didn't have to use those camera tiles.
Yeah.
All right, Trey, I'm gonna end the call.
Just don't have like the end of the fight and get the dragon.
See y'all next week.
Hey, are you gonna be in person next week? Sick. All right,
I sure will.
Bye, Trey.